Hi everyone, in this video we will walk you through our new memory test introduced with OCCT V17. We will start with the simplest option and go more in-depth through presets and custom tests. Of course, feel free to jump to the relevant portion of the video to see what's interesting for you. The simplest and very first option in our memory test is called Legacy. As its name indicates, it's a test which was included in V16 and before in OCCT. It's a very straightforward and simple test to use. You configure the amount of memory to test, you choose the instruction set, you change the number of threads you want to launch, you click Start. It's very easy, it's starting, it will report any error found. It's a very good first intention test, and of course, as you want more control about what's going on in the background, you will use our other options. Most of the new features for our memory test are located in the Custom tab. But before going through all that, I want to talk about presets, because not everyone has the time to actually go through all that complexity. So presets is really pre-configured tests made by either the community or by us, which represent state-of-the-art test schedules for pinpointing memory errors or reproducing different test conditions for your memory. So it's really easy. As before, you select the amount of memory to be tested, the number of threads to launch, and then you select your presets and just click Start. And you will get started very easily using that. If you want to see what a test is doing exactly, is to use that Copy to Custom button. It will copy the whole preset to the Custom tab where all the meat of the test will be revealed to you, and it's actually a very good way to get started. You copy everything here, you start from a base, and you start hacking away. Our new memory test is fully modular. You will use what we call blocks of different type, and you will build your own memory test. We went that deep into configuring a memory test. It's a completely new take compared to the old monolithic take of other tests, which were completely fixed and you had no choice. We empower you and let you do your magic. So you've got a ton of different blocks. Our test blocks are divided into several categories. The first one is a block which is modifying the memory contents. You've got TM5 simple here, below you've got TM5 arithmetic. They are identifiable using that little color here, and they will modify the memory content. A test must start with a block of this category to initialize the memory before executing, which is the case here with TM5 simple. Another example is the checkerboard test. It's a very simple one which is initializing the memory by writing all 1 and 0 in succession, much like a checkerboard. And this is a test which is initializing the memory. The second type of block is not modifying the memory content. That doesn't mean it's not doing anything. It means that after it executes, the memory is back in the same state as before. They are identifiable with a blue tag, and here you've got one which is called Marrow Move 128. A simple one to understand is double flip, which is right below. It will actually inverse the memory twice. So it will do something, but when it's done executing, you will have the memory in the very same state. You cannot start a test using that type of block, obviously, because the memory isn't initialized. The next type of block, which is probably the most important one, is the check block, which you can see all over this pattern. What it will do is it will check the memory and look for errors. So it will combine every block which is located above, deduce the state the memory should be in, and check if that's really the case. If there is no check block, you won't have any error detection in a preset or in a test, which may be useful if you want to go all out in stressing memory for a while and then finally check, or even forego all error detection to go to maximum heat generation, because check blocks tend to be a little lighter than the others. But frankly, they are performing very well. We took a ton of time optimizing it and they are very fast. My recommendation would be to have always at least a check block. And finally, you've got utility blocks, which is here you see in loop start, loop end. This means the test will loop and do those two blocks 32 times. And of course, you can configure that value here. So it's just a way of programming, of adding utility loops to make your life much, much easier. For the actual test, we built our own, like Checkerboard, but we also took inspiration from existing tools, especially TM5, which hasn't been updated in like 24 years. We basically reproduced its test, and we have TM5 refresh, simple, inverted, arithmetic, which are modifying the memory content, and then you've got mirror move 1, 2, 4, and 128, all coming from TM5, which are moving data around and not modifying the memory content. And for each of these tests, you've got access to parameters to actually control how they behave. So here you can configure the jump, how it moves through data in memory, and you can configure here the seeds used for the random number generation. You can configure basically everything. We also took inspiration from memtest, and you will find a few test blocks, mainly working 0 and working 1. They create a pattern with a single isolated bit that moves with each write, either 0 or 1, which helps test memory in a different way and can expose different kinds of issues. We wanted to give you guys options. Another type of test, which is very different to how the others behave, is the legacy test. I'm adding a new block at the bottom and selecting legacy. Legacy is a special kind of an all-in-one test. It brings its own check within. We wanted to reproduce exactly a path of the legacy test, which was included as a reminder in older version of OCCT. Again, we're giving you a ton of options. That means a legacy test cannot be followed by a check just because the check is already included in the legacy test. So be careful when building. The final type of block is actually doing nothing, and this time for real. They are introducing a pause into your test schedule. The goal is to see if after an extended period of time, the memory will still contain the right data and to reproduce beat fade scenario. And now it's your turn to be creative. Combine, play, do creative approaches, try to reproduce different conditions, try to stress test, to torture your memory in different ways to actually come up with a very useful, a more useful memory test that you can share with others. If you have something which works very well, feel free to save it to a file and send it to our Discord server so that we can review it and ultimately include it as a preset for everyone to enjoy. We are always relying on the community and on our help. And of course, like for the heat preset, you will get mentioned here, you will get credited, just like Paimon. Alright, we covered all the basics and how the new memory test of OCCT is actually working. If you need more information, you can refer to our support page, which contains a detailed description of each test block, and you will find a ton of technical information in there. If you need more information or you want more tutorials, have ideas, feel free to drop by our Discord server. We are listening to the community, and all the ideas we have, again, are actually coming from you guys. So feel free to exchange, feel free to talk, to come up with ideas, new blocks, new tests, new approaches. We are all ears. See you soon. Thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe, and see you soon for even more updates and exciting stuff coming up.